Welcome to Streaming Into the Voids, What's New in Streaming, where we discuss the highlights of what's available for you to stream the week of November 4th. I'm Kim Hollis, and with me are Raul Buriel, Tim Bridey, and David Mumpower. We'll start with Hulu and Vigilante Season 1 coming November 8th. This South Korean drama is based on a webtoon and follows a young man who grows up to exact revenge after his mother's killer, a person with a history of violence, is given a light sentence. And yes, this one has been described as Korean Batman.
Is there a scene where her pearls slowly fall down to the ground?
I don't know. Stay tuned. Also new from Hulu is The Croods Family Tree Season 8 coming November 9th.
Season 8.
Yeah. We're starting early. The children are set to step up and keep the two groups together after a misunderstanding amongst the adults threatens to pull the Betterments and the Croods apart forever. And this will also be airing on Peacock.
Very few people probably remember The Croods as a film, but here we are with many seasons of a television series based on that film. Our final new Hulu release is The League, coming November 9th.
All right, baseball fans, you're going to want to watch this one. It's a documentary that celebrates the dynamic journey of Negro League Baseball's triumphs and challenges through the first half of the 20th century. And this features, I kid you not, interviews with Satchel Paige and Buck O'Neill, whose early careers paved the way for the Jackie Robinson era, as well as celebrated Hall of Famers Willie Mays and my beloved Hank Aaron, who started out in the Negro Leagues. That's right. This is where the greatest baseball player of all time, Hank Aaron, got his start.
I bet it'll be very good. We move on to Netflix and Insidious, The Red Door, coming November 4th.
This summer release makes its way to Netflix. Josh Lambert and his college-age son Dalton grapple with generational trauma when they uncover repressed memories of the demon haunting their family.
So look forward to that one being on the ratings chart, I'm sure. On November 7th is The Improv, 60 and Still Standing. 10 top comics hit the stage to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Improv Comedy Club in this special featuring archival footage of iconic performers. And it does include people like Bert Kreischer and Craig Robinson. On November 8th is The Billionaire, The Butler, and The Boyfriend, a limited series.
How did a conflict between the world's wealthiest woman and her daughter spiral into national scandal? This riveting docuseries tells the whole story.
Also on November 8th is Cyberbunker, The Criminal Underworld.
This documentary reveals how a group of hackers powered the darkest corners of the internet from a Cold War-era bunker in a quiet German tourist town. This sounds amazing.
Absolutely. Next up is Escaping Twin Flames, a limited series coming November 8th.
A couple built a spiritual business to help people find true love. Now, former followers are sharing their disturbing practices in this docu-series. Oh, okay. They had me in the first half, but then, yeah.
Yep, it's real. Our final November 8th Netflix release is Robbie Williams, a limited series. After 25 years of his record-breaking solo career, Robbie looks back on his younger self and reflects on a lifetime spent in the spotlight.
Is 25 years really the right time for someone to be doing a retrospective on their career?
This guy is super famous in England and also like apparently a legendary egomaniac, so sure, why not?
There you go.
I think he was in, does it Take That? And then he went solo. So you've definitely heard a couple of his songs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. On November 9th is Akuma Kun Season 1.
All right. None of this makes sense. In this anime series, a boy raised by a demon, Akuma Kun, works with his half-human partner, Mephisto 3, or is that Mephisto the Third, as paranormal investigators to solve various murder and mysteries.
Yeah, it sounds like something, doesn't it? Yeah, the trailer is as bonkers as this sounds. Also on November 9th is Resident Evil Death Island.
My body is ready for this. Bizarre clues and a new T-virus strain lead Agent Chris Redfield and a team of familiar faces to Alcatraz Island to confront a mysterious threat. This is an animated film that expands on previous Resident Evil animated films, and I just needed to have Ada Wong.
David's been playing the Ada Wong downloadable content for the remake of Resident Evil 4 lately. Next up is Temple of Film, 100 Years of the Egyptian Theater.
Guillermo del Toro, Ryan Johnson, and other film luminaries look back at LA's historic Egyptian theater as it returns to its former movie palace glory.
This is the movie palace that Netflix bought in Los Angeles, essentially, so that they'd have a theater to show their movies in and tell the Academy, up yours. Here's our theatrical
It's a theatrical release.
So
you have to nominate it now.
self-serving at all. On November 10th is At the Moment, Season 1. This Taiwanese anthology series set during the pandemic follows 10 unique love stories of passion and heartache. And our final new Netflix release is The Killer, coming November 10th.
After a fateful near miss, an assassin battles his employers and himself on an international manhunt he insists isn't personal. Directed by David Fincher and starring Michael Fassbender, also in select theaters in October, including presumably The Egyptian.
Presumably, yes. We move on to Disney Plus and The Santa Clauses Season 2, coming November 8th.
Now that Scott and his family have successfully saved Christmas, again, after his retirement plans were thwarted, he'll turn his focus towards training his son Eric to eventually take over as Santa. But Scott will have some stiff competition from Magnus Antis, a.k.a., I can't believe I'm saying this out loud, Mad Santa, played by Eric Stonestreet. Mad Santa is the centuries-old predecessor to Scott's Santa.
Yep, they've brought Eric Stonestreet into the fold. All right, we move on to Max and Stand Up and Shout, songs from a Philly high school, coming November 7th.
Every year, sophomores at Philadelphia's Hill Friedman World Academy are given the opportunity to collaborate on an album of original songs. Under the guidance of experienced teaching artists, students pitch concepts, work out arrangements, and contribute to their own recordings. This documentary follows one of these groups.
On November 8th is You Were My First Boyfriend. Oscillating between present and past, hallucination and reality, this hybrid documentary explores the power of adolescent fantasy, the subtle violence of cultural assimilation, and the funhouse mirror of time's passage. Perhaps we will all learn something about growing older and making peace with what haunts us. November 9th brings us Rap Shit Season 2.
We talked about this one back in August, but it's been delayed to November and gives us a second chance this year to say rap shit. Two estranged high school friends from Miami reunite to form a rap group and are forced to decide if they will stay true to themselves or conform to the demands of the music industry. It's like Girls Five Ever.
A little bit, yes. And our final new Max release is Sesame Street Season 54, coming November 9th.
Season 54?
Yes.
They were told they never make it past 50.
Isn't it amazing, though?
The real question is how many of these episodes Max will eventually banish into the ether because, I don't know, they cost too much. But celebrity guests this year include Quinta Brunson, Brandy Carlisle, Eugene Cordero, Ariana DeBose, Dan Levy, and Cal Penn. So it's an excellent group.
Absolutely. We move over to Paramount Plus and Lawmen, Bass Reeves Season 1, coming November 5th. Executive produced by Taylor Sheridan, this series is based on the life of the first Black deputy U.S. Marshal west of the Mississippi River, Bass Reeves. This series features David Oyelowo, Dennis Quaid, Barry Pepper, Garrett Hedlund, Donald Sutherland, and Dale Dickey. Then on November 7th is FBI True Season 4.
This series takes viewers behind the scenes as FBI agents recount their most heart-stopping moments and emotionally charged experiences on the job. This riveting docuseries offers a glimpse into the inner workings of the FBI, showcasing the incredible dedication and bravery of agents who risk it all in the line of duty. This is all part of the FBI franchise that Paramount has with numerous different series running on CBS.
Yep. Okay, November 9th brings us Colin from Accounts, Season 1.
This is a modern-day love story set in Sydney, Australia that centers on two singles brought together by a car accident and an injured dog. And knowing nothing else about it, that dog better be okay.
The trailer is incredibly charming, although it's got massive Hallmark vibes.
This is actually already aired in Australia, and I think it's fairly popular. And our final new Paramount Plus release is The Curse Season 1, coming November 10th.
A Showtime original series from A24, created by Nathan Fielder and Benny Safdie, starring Fielder, Safdie, and Emma Stone. The series explores how an alleged curse disturbs the relationship of a newly married couple as they try to conceive a child while co-starring in their new home improvement show.
If you ever thought that Nathan Fielder was awkward, wait until you put him in a movie with Benny Safdie.
All right. As we move to Peacock, you're about to realize that it's that Hallmark time of year.
Woo!
And and the first of them is Flipping for Christmas, coming November 4th. It's almost Christmas when busy realtor Abigail agrees to help her sister with the simple flip of a recently inherited home. Unfortunately, co-beneficiary Bo has other plans in mind.
There is basically never a clean contract on any of these, ever.
Oh, all right. On November 4th is WWE Crown Jewel.
I do not acknowledge these blood money shows.
There you go. That's all we need to say. Next up is Never Been Christ, coming November 5th.
Well, I'm glad I didn't get that WWE one. Home for the holidays, BFFs Naomi and Liz reconnect with high school crush Chris Silver. A complex love triangle forms, forcing them to take stock of their lives and find the value of friendship.
All right. November 6th brings the Santa Summit.
I hope there's not a mad Santa at this. It's an annual Santa summit in which revelers put on Santa suits and hop around designated locations in town to eat, drink, and be merry. Three best friends decide to go together. There's Jordan, a recently dumped art teacher looking to cut loose, Ava, a shy woman hoping to run into her crush, and Stella. Oh no, Stella. A Christmas cynic with no interest in the Santa summit whatsoever. I bet I know which one of them learns the true meaning of Christmas.
All right. Our final new Peacock release is Mystery on Mistletoe Lane, coming November 10th.
New to town, Heidi Wicks and her kids discover a Christmas mystery in their historic home. Local handyman and historian, and probably also very single, David, helps along the way, finding his own surprising connection. Starring Victor Webster and Erica Serra.
Who none of us know who that is. Well, maybe David does.
Oh, contraire. I was thinking, wow, that's a great cast.
All right, let's move on to Amazon Prime Video and BTS Yet to Come, coming November 9th. This concert movie includes 19 performances of the 7-member band's hit tracks, such as Dynamite, Butter, Run, Mic Drop, and Yet to Come, parentheses, The Most Beautiful Moment.
I know 2 of those. Don't hate us, BTS Army.
All right, next up is 007 Road to a Million, Season 1, coming November 10th.
We could do a whole episode about this.
If we could.
Our regular listeners will remember that Amazon bought MGM, and MGM shares ownership of the James Bond franchise with the Broccoli family, a family of producers that have produced the James Bond movies from the very start. And now there's a game show. Brian Cox hosts this reality game show, which features 9 pairs completing secret agent-themed challenges with the hopes of winning $1 million.
Anyone else disappointed the prize isn't like becoming a secret agent? I guess that would kind of like give you away, though.
I guess so. All right, our final new Amazon Prime release is Dina Hashem, Dark Little Whispers, coming November 10th.
The comedian and Daily Show writer discusses everything from death threats and existential dilemmas to relationship problems, quiet people, and her upbringing as a first-generation Arab American.
Apple TV Plus has a new series called The Buccaneers.
Not about the football team, apparently. This is a contemporary story of female empowerment set in the Regency era. In the 1870s, a group of rich American girls are brought to London to participate in the debutante season and try to find a posh English husband. So it sounds like a 1870s like reality dating show.
1870s The Bachelor.
It's a little bit Bridgerton, a little bit Sofia Coppola's Marie Antoinette. The attitudes and language of the female leads is very modern and contemporary. It's definitely got a vibe that I think will click with, I'd say, younger female viewers.
And the other new Apple TV Plus release is For All Mankind, Season 4, coming November 10th. The new season takes place in 2003, with humanity settled on Mars and focusing on mining valuable minerals from asteroids.
Obviously, I love this show. I'm always praising it. There was an interesting thing at the end of season 3 where they pretty much killed off most of the people who had been around since the beginning. So this is kind of a fresh start in a lot of ways. And there's another storyline I'm really curious to see what they do with, because a woman who's been with NASA since the very early days is now forced to work with Russia instead because she's committed crimes in the United States, so she can't do that anymore. So a lot of interesting storylines here, and as always, in Ronald D. Moore I trust.
And our final new release is from the Roku channel, and it is The Great American Baking Show Celebrity Holiday, coming November 10th.
The American version of the British baking sensation returns for another holiday showdown. Happy Endings' Casey Wilson, whom we'll recognize as Penny, joins Zach Cherry to host the competition with 6 celebrity guests whose names so far have been kept under wraps.
All right, well, I am interested in watching Cursed.
I'll be watching The League, and no matter how much Kim resents me for it, Mystery on Mistletoe Lane.
I always watch the holiday episodes of The Baking Show, whether it's the American or British versions. It's always a lot of fun, even though they happen to film them in the dead of summer and they blow a whole bunch of fake snow outside, which looks really lame. It's still a lot of fun to see and really helps get you into that festive holiday spirit.
So go watch something.